Alright, this is Itec 251, and this is my packet tracer lab. In this lab, I have 4 PCs, 2 switches, 2 routers, 3 servers, and an internet connection cloud server. I'll be adding another switch to connect these servers to, and then connect them to the router. As you can see here, 2 of these PCs are connected to the same subnet, and the other 2 are connected to a different subnet. So we're going to connect all of these to the switches, and then connect the switches to the router. As you can see, the IP addresses here for each one of the machines are underneath. I will put in the IP addresses for the routers as we go along. So do enjoy. Alright, so we're going to start with putting the IP addresses for the devices. Alright, I'll start here with PC 0, and the IP address is 192.168.1.2. So the mask is filled for itself. And the default gateway is 192.168.1. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for PC1. 192.168.1.3 and 192.168.1.1. Alright, so let's move for PC2, which is on a different subnet. So 192.168.5.2, and the default gateway for this one would be 192.168.5.1. And the same thing for the second PC. 192.168.5.3. And the gateway is 192.168.5.1. Alright, great. So I think we'll go ahead and set the default gateway for both devices on the router, 192.168.1.1. So the mask is set. Now we're going to set it for fast internet 1, which is going to be the other subnet, which is 192.168.5.1. Right, I'm going to turn it on. Okay. Now we're going to do the cable connection. So we're going to connect using a copper cable. I'm just putting the default gateway here. I'll probably change this later. So this is just to show the default gateways for the 2, but we're on the cable. After I'm going to put them on the cable itself. Alright, so we're taking a copper cable, fast internet 0, connected to the switch, 1. Alright, we do the same thing, copper cable, fast internet 0, connected to port 2 on the switch. We do for the second 2 machines here as well. Same fast internet 1 and fast ethernet port 2 on the switch. Now we're going to use a copper cable and connect the switch. We're going to use port 24 and connect that to the router. We're going to use port 24 on this other switch and connect it to fast ethernet 0. Alright, now you can see everything is connected. So we're going to do a test to ping to see if we can ping the devices on this. Alright, so I'm going to put a button here. Okay. Alright, so ping. And now that's it. This is not work. IP config. Okay, sorry about that. So IP config, and we can see the IP address right there, 192.168, and the default gateway. Alright, so now let's try to ping some of the devices. Alright, so ping. Oh, 1, 2, oh, I forgot to put ping. Sorry, ping 192.168.1.0. Ping is successful, so we're able to ping the second PC on the subnet. Now we're going to ping the default gateway, and that was successful. Alright, so we're going to try it on the other end as well. So we can ping on this side. So IP config, it shows the IP address here. Right, with this subnet 2.5, now we're going to ping 192.168.5.2. Right, it was successful. And then we're going to try to ping the default gateway 192.168.5.1, and that was successful as well. So now we're going to try to ping the device on the other subnet. So we're going to ping 192.168. Sorry, I forgot to put ping 192.168.1.2. Right, that was successful. Alright, so we're able to ping to the other subnet. Now we are going to connect the connections. You see I added the other switch here. So we're going to connect the routers, the servers to the switch, and then the switch to the second router, and then we're going to test the connections there, and then after we're going to add the connection between the two routers. So let's, as you can see here, the IP addresses on the servers, we're using a class B IP address, which is 172.161. Just copy it over here so I can put the default gateway. That's going to be on this router 172.168.1.1. Alright, as I mentioned before, I'm going to replace these after and put them on the cables themselves. So we're going to start by adding the IP addresses. Just default gateway, spaces. Get the gateway, alright, together. Alright, just use this here. Okay, so we're going to run the cables. So fast Ethernet 0, same copper cable as again, from the server to the switch, base port 2, fast Ethernet 0 port 3, right, and now we're seeing connections here. Now we're going to take the cable and connect it from port 24 of the switch to fast Ethernet 0 on the router. Right, and now we're going to configure the default gateway on the router, which was 172.16.1.1. Right, and turn it on. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to start the configuration for the IP addresses. The servers 172.168.1. We're going to use .2. Right, and default gateway is 172.168.1.1. Okay, we're going to copy this so we don't have to keep typing it in every time. Okay, so our server 2, 172.168.1.3, I believe, yeah. Alright, and we just paste the default gateway here. Alright, and for server 3, 172.168.1.4. press the default gateway again. Okay. Alright, so we have everything configured. We configured the switches, the routers, and the servers. So now let's do some ping tests. Yeah. Alright, so let's try. What are we going to check first? Alright, so ping 172.168.1.1. So ping the default gateway. And connection was successful. Alright, so now we're going to ping another server 172.168.1.4. Alright, and it was successful. Alright, so we have connections between the servers here and the router on this Class B subnet. Now we're going to connect the router together. We use a serial connection, connect it to the other serial port 20, right, using crossover cable. Now we're going to set the IP addresses for serial port 2. We're going to use a Class A IP address, which is 10.0.0.1, and we're going to turn that on, and we're going to do that on router 2 as well. Right, same serial port 2.0, 10. We can leave it as 2. Alright, so 10.0.0.2, turn it on. Alright. Now, as you see, as I mentioned before, I shifted the IP addresses onto the cable. Now we're going to do a static route. So we're going to, because we have 2 IP addresses coming in on that one router, so we're going to set it to 0. Anything looking for that IP address would be redirected. Anything coming from that would be redirected to 10.0.0.2. Right, so any IP address within that range trying to get out would jumped to the other routers subnet. Alright, so that's been successful. Now we're going to do the same thing for the static route here. So we're going to add the static route. So 192.168.1.0. So right, and the mask is 255.255.255.0. for Class C. And the next hop, so any traffic trying to get out to the other IP would go to 10.0.0.1. We're going to add that. Now we're going to add another connection for the other subnet on that Class C. So we just change 5 and we add that one here. Right, and now we've established the connections between the subnets. So we should be able to connect from any one of these subnets on the Class C side through the Class A subnet between the router and to the Class B. So let's do a test. Right now. So I'm just gonna try to ping the routers themselves. So we're gonna ping 2. Right. I forgot to put ping. Sorry about that. Ping 10.0.0.2. Right. It's taking about a while. Oh wow. Look at that. We have a connection. Alright, and we're good here. So we're going to try to ping one of the servers. So on the Class B, so 172.168.1.3. Yeah, we'll try 3. Alright, ping. Okay. See, and our request is successful. Alright, so we're going to try it on the other end. Alright, we try from the server here, and we're going to ping one of the Class C addresses. So we're going to ping the router first. Let's see if we can get onto the router there. No, we just ping the Class C address. Alright, so make the connection, out, and it was successful.